be sent into action, but we have an overwhelmingly favorable opinion about those who serve and about those who make the ultimate sacrifice. Joining me now is Jessie Jane Duff, who served 20 years in the U.S. Marine Corps and retired as a Gunnery Sergeant. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me so much.
And thank you for your service to our country.
Well, I'm grateful I got to serve.
You know, after 9/11, we had this upsurge of patriotism, and anybody in the military walking through an airport or public place was just greeted with thanks and heartfelt appreciation. How did that feel on the receiving end?
You know, it was really extraordinary because when I had joined originally back in the 80s, there was not so much of a patriotism people have always been patriotic, but there wasn't that overwhelming gush like you felt after 9/11. So I would say, though, in the state of the situation, it was very humbling because those of us who serve realized that there were so many out there sacrificing for the freedom that we experience over here on the home front. So it really was a humbling experience to hear people say thank you so much for your service, and I still hear it today.
Oh, that's great. Now, Memorial Day is really to honor those who have given their lives. A lot of people do confuse it with Veterans Day, which comes in the fall. How does a retired Marine Sergeant approach Memorial Day?
Well, I do often reflect on those friends of mine that are buried in Arlington Cemetery. I do know those that have served that are buried there, and I do try to take the time during that week at some point to go by and visit their graves. They're very, very sentimental to me. They were close to me. And then I try to remember those that I just served with. But because of the honor for those who have passed on in honor of their country, I try to keep those close to my heart and in my prayers, and their families in particular, because you never get over their loss. Never do. Now,
for a lot of Americans, Memorial Day is also sort of the unofficial start of summer. It's a kickoff, it's a barbecue, it's something else. Is that frustrating at all?
Well, for myself, it's not frustrating as long as they remember the purpose of the holiday. If you're bringing your family together and then you remember maybe the grandfather, the uncle, the brother, the sister, the daughter who served, there is then a sense of honor to it. Try to take a little bit of time out of that day to remember those that served. But I cannot take away from the families getting together and enjoying time together because we don't get enough of that today. We definitely don't.
Now, you have some other concerns about the veterans who have come home and the way that we treat them.
Yes, there's a horrible veterans backlog right now with the VA, getting the benefits out to those who have served. Right now, we have close to 1 million veteran backlog. Over that, we have 245.
What does a million veteran backlog mean?
The backlog with the Veterans Administration means that it's close to 1 million veterans whose claims for disability or any type of physical problems they're having have not been settled. So what's happening is about 20,000 veterans a year are dying waiting on those claims to be settled, which means they weren't able to get reimbursed. For example, if you had lost a limb, if you have PTSD, if you have some type of medical concern that needs to be addressed by the VA, they're waiting and waiting and waiting. Maybe over a year.
Why are they waiting? What is the cause of this?
The backlog is terrible. 97% of these claims with the Veterans Administration are still done manually. It's not even automated. So $25 billion was given to the VA in the last 5 years to improve their systems, and it has not improved. When the president took office in 2009, there were 11,000 veterans with over a year in their claim waiting. That has skyrocketed to 245,000 veterans now. It has increased by 2,000%. So it's only gotten worse.
So if someone comes home after serving our country and they have need for some of these treatments and they file a claim right now, they don't have any expectation of getting a reaction to it anytime soon?
Not. Normally, it shouldn't take more than 180 days. It is average time is getting well over a year, sometimes 323 days average. Some claims are taking over 600 days. A lot of it depends upon what geographical area you're in. Some VAs are doing a little bit better than others, but most are well over 225 days, 300 days. And those that are waiting up to 600 days, many of those veterans that are committing suicide are those that are, there's 16 veterans a day committing suicide, 53 veterans dying a day whose claims have not been settled. And when you think about that, those that are committing suicide, it's usually because they become or feel they become a burden on their family. And they're waiting on these things to get settled, and they haven't.
Jessie, thanks for sharing this information with us. It's sad to hear it, but it's something that we need to be aware of.
We need to be aware of, yes.
And thanks for joining me. I'll be back with more of What America Thinks right after this.